This is the Dodge Demon, and it's as American as a Dodge Demon, because that's about as American as things come. Huge engine up front, rear wheel drive, proper muscle car. It's nuts. In this video, I'm going to tell you all about it. It's mental stats. I'm going to tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it. Of course, I'm going to take it for a drive. Might behave like a bit of a hooligan, and I'm going to launch it. This is supposed to be a 10-second car, but is it? We're going to find out. I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching Carwow.
Buying a new car? Then head to Carwow, and my team will help you find your next car at a fair price. Carwow, your one-stop car buying comparison site.
Let's start off by talking about the price. So when the Dodge Demon first went on sale in the US, it cost $85,000, which translates to about £60,000. This one actually cost £137,000, which is about $200,000. Reason being, once you add up all the import costs and all that kind of stuff and VAT of importing one of these things to the UK, it all mounts up and it gets super expensive. You can't buy one of these in the UK, but if you're after an American muscle car, I'll pick my favourite and you can get it through Carwow. So I'll put a link up there. Click on that to see what the car is and how much you can save on one. Now let's talk about the design. And from the back, this just looks like a normal Dodge Challenger. So it's got that kind of retro-y look to it, the cool tail lights, the spoiler. But if you go low, you'll notice those tyres. They're 315 section tyres. They are so wide. And those are the ones that you get on the Demon. And you need all that rubber to be able to control all that power. From the side, the Challenger is a great looking car, but the Demon looks more menacing with its wide body kit to accommodate those fat rear tyres. And from the factory, as standard, you get 18-inch drag radials. Another identifier of this car is look, the Demon badge here. And if you wanted to, when you bought this car, you could pay Dodge an extra $1 and they give you the special drag pack, which includes some narrow front tyres, only 115 section, just so you've got minimal drag for the drag strip, so you can do those 10-second times. This one is on the 315 section tyres, which is much better for on the road and general driving. I love the front of the Challenger as well, the way it's got that kind of look like it's like scowling at you. It looks even more mean with this Demon because you get this massive bonnet scoop to feed air into that engine. Apparently, this is the largest bonnet scoop on any production car in the world. The Demon also gets this front splitter as well, with this yellow stripe on it. Mean. Here on the inside, the Dodge Demon is all right. So it's largely like the normal Challenger. So quality is generally pretty good. The design is all right. I do like this big centre console, the way you're separated from the passenger. And the seats are big to accommodate Americans and comfy, but they also have decent side bolsters to keep you in place. Now on the Demon, you get the Demon logo on the seat, which is nice. As standard, you get cloth seats, but you can upgrade to these leather Alcantara seats. The Demon also gets an Alcantara steering wheel, and that feels really good. It also gets white instead of black dials, like you get on the normal Challenger. I like those as well. Some other upgrades, Demon up here. You also get a little Demon face when you turn the car on. And that is pretty much it. The rest of it's largely the same. For instance, the main infotainment system is pretty good, easy to use. And there's lots of features on it, like performance features, where you can check out all the stats on the car and lots of different things like that. Generally, it's pretty nice, quite like it. Here in the back of the Challenger, it's not brilliant, but it's not awful. Look, if I sit up dead straight, I have just about got enough headroom. Someone over 6 foot might just be able to squeeze in here. They could have an issue though with knee room. I've got short legs and I've got about that much space, so I'm fine, but taller people, probably not so much. Now let's talk about some of the chassis upgrades the Dodge Demon has over the normal Challenger. So it's fitted with adaptive Bilstein dampers, and they're set up for drag racing, so they'll shift as much weight as possible to the back wheels under acceleration, so you can really put in those good launch times. Also, the springs at the back are softer than in the standard car for the same reason as well, help the car bite down into the tarmac and go forward rather than just spin up its wheels. The Demon also gets an uprated steering rack over the normal Challenger, and it's specially set up for drag racing. It's also lighter, this car. Dodge has fitted it with lighter wheels. It's also got less soundproofing, and there's loads of other lightweight bits on it compared to the normal car. And as a result, it weighs 101 kilos less. That's quite a big difference. Believe it or not, this car actually has smaller brakes than the standard Challenger Hellcat. Reason being, they need to fit inside these wheels. Is it a problem? Well, so you've got 360mm discs up front, gripped by 4 piston calipers. Now, I wouldn't normally say that smaller brakes are a good thing, but apparently according to Dodge, because this car's tyres are much wider than the standard cars, it can actually brake better. Though I'm not going to brake test this car. Well, I am, but in a slightly different way, because there's something cool you can do with this car's brakes. This car has a cool line lock feature so that you can warm your tyres for drag racing. So what you do is press line lock to activate it. I'll apply brake pressure, press OK. Hold brake pressure there, it's holding it now by me pressing OK. My foot is off the brake. Watch this. Oh, that is pretty cool. Now let's talk about the engine, because really this is the car's key feature. It's a 6.2 litre supercharged V8. Now in the normal Dodge Challenger Hellcat, it puts out a rather healthy 707 horsepower, but in this Demon it's increased to 808 horsepower and 972 newton meters of torque. They did a lot of work to this engine, new pistons, new crankshaft, bigger supercharger on it. In fact, this supercharger, which has a Demon badge on it, which is rather cool, it has a capacity of 2.7 litres, so more capacity than the engine you get in a Volkswagen Golf R, and it produces 20% more boost pressure than the supercharger that you have in the normal Dodge Challenger Hellcat. It's absolutely nuts, this thing. And then there's the noise it makes. Now it does have a soft limiter around 4,500 RPM, but it doesn't really matter because it's so raucous anyway. Check this out. Sounds epic. Now in a moment I am going to launch the car, but before I do that I've got some other things to talk you through. While we're talking about practicality, this car's boot is actually a decent size, 459 litres, and the opening is also quite useful. You could squeeze spare wheels in there, and let me show you this, bear with me. Oh, go on. The rear seats do fold down so you can carry some longer items as well. And being an American car, like, you have this special release, so if someone tries to put you in the boot, you can get out by pulling that. There is something that gets on my nerves though, watch this. So open the boot, press this button here, but then there's no handle, so you have to get your hands under here. You end up getting them a bit dirty. And that brings us on to 5 annoying things about the Dodge Demon. This car, in its lightest configuration, still weighs in at 1,941 kilograms. It's a bit of a lard arse. If you fancy buying one of these cars, bad luck, they're not on sale anymore. And when they were, only 3,300 were built. This is number 2,196. And Dodge did something really weird when they were selling this car. So they only allowed Dodge dealers who had sold a normal Dodge Challenger Hellcat in the past 12 months to sell them. You don't expect great fuel economy from a car such as this, and you don't get it. Now, I know we've been driving this car hard today, but still, the average fuel economy is 6.1 miles per gallon. I'm hoping that's American miles per gallon, which makes it sound even worse than it actually is, but even so, dreadful. These super sticky drag race tyres are also super soft. Get through them in no time at all. I mean, these have no grip left on them. Can't drive this on the road now. Problem is that you can only get these tyres from the States, which is a pain if you live in Europe. And apparently, a spare set of these have been on back order with the owner, CS Panda, who've lent me this car. Link in the description to their YouTube channel, by the way. And they've been waiting months. This seatbelt holder is absolutely hideous and unnecessarily large. Also, it looks a little bit like a handle. So if you have some rear passengers and they get a bit frightened, there's a good chance they might suddenly try and grab onto this when you accelerate and they'll easily rip it off. It's not all negative though. Here's 5 good things about this car. The Dodge Demon entered the Guinness Book Records as the fastest accelerating production car in the world. It did 0 to 60 in 2.3 seconds and the standing quarter mile in 9.65 seconds. But what will it do in my hands? We're going to find out in a bit. You know, I said this car has 808 horsepower. Well, it does on normal fuel, but if you can get 100 octane race fuel, you can then run it at 840 horsepower because the car will change its ignition timing to be more aggressive. 840 horsepower, it's nuts. As standard, this car didn't come with any passenger seats, so no front passenger seat, no rear seats, all to help keep the weight down for the best time possible over the quarter mile. However, for the cost of $1, you could have them fitted back in. Not only does the Demon have this huge air intake, it also has something called an intake chiller. So with the intake air, it actually passes it via the air conditioning unit to chill it down, and it actually reduces the temperature by up to 50 degrees, so that gives you the best performance possible. The car has something called a trans brake. Sounds a bit odd, but what it does is use the transmission to build boost rather than the brakes. So normally when you're building boost, what you'll do, you hold the car on the brake, apply some throttle, and then you build up boost as the car is straining against the brakes. With a trans brake, what it does is put the car's transmission into both forward and reverse. So it locks it up, and then you can build even more boost as the engine is straining against the transmission. Then it suddenly releases and puts all that torque through the rear wheels for the best launch possible. Right, let's see what this Dodge Demon is like to drive. So the first thing is this, listen. Why the supercharger? It's so good, just that noise. I much prefer that than a turbo. And the thing about a supercharger is it doesn't just give you a slab of torque like boom, like that. It builds as you rev the car. And I love that about superchargers. It rewards you winding it up all the way to the red line. And what a noise. Oh. This car has a sense of occasion about it. Just sitting in it, feeling the Alcantara steering wheel, looking at that huge bulge in the bonnet. It is nuts. It absolutely is. So much fun. All that power. And it's just so controllable because the chassis really does just want to like move around. It's a playful thing, this. Then there's the flip side to it. When you want to be normal, want to be sensible, you want to just drive about, daily driving, it's actually pretty good. So the steering is quite weighty. That's not a bad thing. But you'd think the suspension would be rock hard and bouncy, and it's not. I could live with this every day. Well, apart from one thing, yeah, the fuel consumption. That's brutal. You get through fuel so very, very quickly in this thing. But it's money well spent because it's such good fun. Oh, I love it. Anyway, this car isn't about skids and stuff like that. It's all about the launch, isn't it? This is supposed to be a 10-second car. Well, it is when you've got a prepped drag strip. I haven't got a prepped drag strip, but I do have a runway. So let's launch it. Launch mode. Here we go. Still spinning. It's nuts. Once it's moving, it's special. No, there's no point. That one's a 12.2. I've found another way of launching the car. It's a bit of a faff, but let's see how it goes. Left foot on the brake, pull up on both paddles. I'm now engaging the trans brake. And then I increase the engine speed to about 1800 RPM. Like that. That's not available. Right, try again. Imagine doing this at the pressure of the drag strip. Okay, increase engine speed, release one paddle, release the brake. Now I'm holding it just with a paddle, my foot's on the brake. Here we go. Really got to feed in the power, so this is down to me. Let me try it again. Here we go. Increase engine speed to about 1800 RPM. That's about it. Release one paddle, release the brake. My foot is now off the brake. I'm holding it on this paddle now. I'm going to release that paddle and feed in the power. It's better, I didn't spin up too much. Can I get a better time though? No. I am getting the exact same time as before. Look, 12 seconds. So hard to launch this. Many different ways, all a bit of a faff, and unless you're on a prep strip, it's not going to do it. Even though I'm on sticky tyres. Oh well. So then, what's my final verdict on the Dodge Demon? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, if I was buying this in America, for the $85,000 it cost there, I'd go right ahead and buy it. But you've got to be extremely wealthy and really into collecting cars if you want to buy one in the UK and pay £135,000 for one. I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you did, please give it a like. Also, I'd like you to say a big thank you to Jamie from CS Panda, because this is the guy that has lent us the Dodge Demon. He also lends us loads of cars for drag racing. In fact, all these vehicles here are his. So do me a favour, head over to CS Panda and subscribe to his channel. I'm putting a link up there, click on that, you can go straight there and you can subscribe to his channel to say thank you for lending us all these cars. In fact, Jamie, the more subscribers you get from CarWow, the more cars you'll lend us in future, right?
Oh, that's our new deal, is it?
Yeah.
All right.
So you heard the man. Subscribe to his channel and we'll get some more cars from him, and they're cool cars. Hey, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Also, let me know of any other videos you'd like me to do in the comments below. If you click there, you can watch some more videos, and if you click on that box there, you can actually sign up to the CarWow newsletter, where we'll keep you up to date of all the latest news and reviews from the car world in between these video uploads. So just click on that, sign up, it's completely free, and of course you can cancel anytime you want to. Thanks for watching.